Sharp Game here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, the 21 unconventional laws to redefine and transform any relationship and win, which can be found on Amazon.com. And you can also go to my website as well. And P.S. and by the way, you can find me on Instagram. Sharp Game. That's my handle over there. So if you do a search, you'll find me over there. And check out my Patreon. It's Patreon.com/Sharp Game. And in this video, man, I want to know, what's your definition of support? What's your definition of support? That's what I wanted to talk about in this video. Because there's a lot of people out here that they always talk about support. They don't have enough support. This person's not supporting me. And they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And there's a lot of complaints out here about this. And I've ran into this in my earlier years of my life. And I ran into people that were whining and complaining about me not doing certain things and how I'm not supporting them as much as I should, or as I could, or if I would, and all of the above. So there's something to be said about this, So when it comes to supporting people, in a nutshell, it really means that you're enhancing what's already there. That's all you're doing. You're not trying to save anybody. You're trying to boost them. You're trying to enhance who or what they already are. That's it. So that means the person, by default, would have to have some type of talent, something going on. So by the time you come in the picture, you would, analyze the situation and say, hey, maybe I can introduce them to somebody. Maybe I can actually help them directly with this situation. Maybe I can take them somewhere. Maybe I can help them indirectly. But if you don't have any talents, if you don't have anything to enhance, how the hell can you expect anyone to support you on anything? Now, see, some people's definition of support is a person that basically gives them what they want. That's not support. That's more of you just expect the other person to be a lapdog. I'm not talking about that. That's not support. You just want to take someone else's freedom so you can have more freedom. That's not support at all. And a lot of us guys, including myself at one point, we've fallen for this because we think if we give our woman what she wants, it's going to make her happy. But it's not. I can guarantee you it's not going to make her happy. Because happiness is an inside job. And see, there's a lot of women that get caught up into this. A lot of women will, they'll get the guy that they want, the guy that makes them look good, the guy that, that the family wants her to be with, this certain type of guy, whatever type of guy that is. And they'll get married, have kids, get a house. When she turns 40 or even older, in some cases, she's going to be looking around like, I got everything on the checklist, damn near covered on that long list that she has. Everything's checked off, but she's still not happy. And now she's feeling remorse. Now she's becoming combative. Now she's coming home because what she's realizing is that when she goes to that job that she hates, and when she comes home, the guy at the job that she hates, which is mostly her supervisor in most cases, or it could be more than one guy, but the guy that she hates at her job is the same version of the guy she has at home. A lot of women realize this by the time when they get older, 40s, 50s, So now she wants a divorce now. She wants a divorce, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to get a divorce. What she will do is try to live a double life. This is what happens out here today. It's a dating dual mating strategy that a lot of women use. I'm gonna say that again. It's a dating dual mating strategy that a lot of women use today. So they'll have the provider, the guy that they have the kids, the house, the assets, the business, whatever they want to do together as a couple. Then on the side, she has a guy that's good to blow her back out. That guy, he's mainly for sex and a little bit of conversation. So that's the double life that a lot of these women play, because the problem a lot of them run into is like things is just done gone so far, and they've been together for so long, and the kids are still young, and these women don't want to struggle. So there's a good chance she don't look she don't look the way she used to look. She's not attractive as she used to be, and she don't have any guys that would be willing to settle down with her. So she'll live the double life. That's what usually happens. So there's a lot of women out here that, a supportive man to them is a guy that's going to rescue her, basically save her life. So whenever a woman finds herself in a deep hole, that one that's too deep, where she might got to a point where it's like she don't know how to navigate the situation. So a lot of them will automatically look for other guys. So they'll call that support. That's not really support. That's like you looking for somebody to save you. That's not what I'm talking about at all. That's more like you Captain Save-A-Ho. That's that type of deal. When I say support, I'm talking about if you got something going on in your life. I don't care if you're male or female. If you got something going on in your life, maybe you're trying to be a writer. Maybe you're trying to start a publishing company. Maybe you're trying to be an athlete. Maybe you're trying to start a business. I don't care what it is. But whatever you're trying to do, you don't have the means to push it forward. Maybe you find yourself at a crossroads. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe you don't have the resources. So a good support system, all they would do is just find a way to help you push forward. That's all a good support system is, really. So they would enhance or boost or help you push forward or help you push through the difficulties. That's all they're going to do. What's up, Cosmic Warrior? That's all a good support system is. You know what a lot of women have going on today, it's like they're really on some other shit. It's like they're looking for somebody to come and rescue them. No, that's not support. What's up, L2 James? So a lot of guys have fallen for this because what happens is if you don't do what a lot of these women want, they start to shame you. They'll shame you and try to make you feel bad. And that's when some guys give in. And this has happened to me when I was in my 20s, because when you're young and inexperienced, you just don't know any better. You just don't know any better. Because it's like, I'm coming from a place where I did not know that so many women, just so many people in general, would be so dishonest and so manipulative. So I'm thinking this person has to be sincere, because I didn't grow up around anyone that was like that. I didn't see anything like that. What's up, John T? So I didn't see anybody like behaving or manipulating a situation or manipulating a relationship to try to get what they want. I didn't grow up around anybody like that. Of course, I saw people from a distance, but I was so young, I knew something wasn't right about certain people, of course, but I didn't really know exactly what the situation was all about. So whenever I got out into the world, whenever I left home, left my parents' house and went out into the world and started having my own experiences, I realized that a lot of people are not as sincere as I was at the time. A lot of people will smile in your face, and at the same time, they want to take your position. L2 James, but isn't that a so they end up not being able to support, more so with being like someone or a child to a guy? Yeah, that happens, L2 James. Yeah. Yeah. It's then you got some people like for you to support them, but when it comes to you support, when it's your turn to get support, they're nowhere to be found. There's no way to be found. Yeah, the OJs, backstabbers. They made a song about it. Yeah. So there's a lot of people out here like that too. What's up, Charles? So there's a lot of people out here, they like to receive, but after they've taken in everything, they disappear and haul ass. There's a lot of people out there like that too. But that's why when it comes to when it comes to the support system, it takes time to build these relationships. It's a certain time. I think you should extend your hand, so to speak, to support somebody. I don't think this is not something I think you should do right away. So if you meet a woman today, I don't think you should give her a support hand like next month. Yeah, I just think that's too early. That's just my opinion. So if a woman say, hey, so let's assume, let's say you met a woman today, you slept with her next week, next month, she's calling you saying, hey, I need a place to stay. I just think that's too early, brothers. Or she's calling you, hey, I need some of my utility bills paid. Hey, I don't know you like that. I don't know you like that. I never seen you on my video comment section. So, man. Most that I come across seem to have no concept of support. You're right, L2 James. You're right. Most people, I don't think uh they don't see the value of friendships in this country, especially, unfortunately. I think a lot of people look at people like they treat people like they're commodity, like, hey, I'll find another one. We're on to the next. So a lot of people don't really have a concept of it. And then I've met some people they were actually honest about it. They said we're bad when it comes to forming friendships and making friends, just in general. But then you have other people, they just run through people. They treat them like a commodity, like you're on a stock market. Like they treat them, they treat people like they treat them football players now, NFL football players. You see how the owners treat the football players now, where it's free agency and they're trading around players like they're on the stock market. That's how a lot of people in America treat people. A lot of people have that. They have that same mentality. It's like, hey, they NFL football players. We'll trade them around. We get the best players for the least amount of money. And people, they're doing this for free with people. So it's the same mentality. Unfortunately, same mentality. So you have people that will, you hang out with them today, and you might not hear from them again until a year later. And by the time they call you, they want something. And then on top of that, whatever they ask you for, they expect you to do it. And if you don't do it, they have a problem with that. Yeah, so this is the mentality that exists in the United States of America. Really. And, plus a lot of women are worse than guys when it comes to this. Because you got most women don't like other women. I think everyone would agree with that. They function very different. Most women don't like each other, don't really trust being around each other, don't really trust their man being around each other. They're very competitive amongst each other. They're very passive aggressive amongst each other. And a lot of women are especially in the workforce, even socially. So a lot of women are always battling for the top guy, So it's very difficult to make friends amongst women, I think, just because of their competitive nature. Yeah, you're right, L2 James. Yeah, a lot of people I ran into over the past couple years, especially this happens in a big city, mainly in big cities, L2 James, where if you meet people, they don't really necessarily care to get to know you because it's like they don't really know how long they're going to be around you. So it doesn't really matter. So the idea is to have a good time in the least amount of time and keep it moving on to the next. Now, if you live in a small town, that's not the case for the most part. That's not going to be the case. But if you live in any of these big mega cities, Atlanta, New York, Chicago, Miami, San Francisco, LA, Houston, Boston, that's going to be the case because it's just too much going on and people are stressed. They're trying to have a good time. They want to be entertained. So it's kind of like, I got to get what I can get out of you as quick as possible because I know I don't have the confidence. I don't have the spine. I don't have the gumption, and I really don't know how long you're going to be around me. And I really don't know how much time I'm going to have to even make the effort to be around you. So that's where that comes from, L2 James. You live in Miami? Well, it's hard to make friends in these big cities anyway. Really. It really is. Plus you don't know the intent that a lot of these people have when they meet you. I mean, why are they around you? You should ask yourself that. Why, of all these people that's in Miami that you hang around with, L2 James, why would any man or woman want to spend time around you? You should always ask that. And it's not an ego thing. Don't make it an ego thing. That's just something for you to think about. You don't necessarily have to ask them that. That's just something you should think about. Because there's, I don't know, probably millions of people in Miami. Yeah, I don't know the number. But why would anybody, man or woman, want to hang and spend their precious time around you? That's something to think about. I mean, because it's like nobody's special. Nobody's special. The only person that's special to you, the only person that really thinks you're special is your parents. Outside of your parents, your grandparents, maybe your sister and your brothers. I doubt it, but maybe your sister and brothers. But outside of that, nobody's special until proven otherwise. I get what you mean. It almost seems like I have to pay for their attention. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, because what happens is some guys feel like they gotta be doing shit. The even get a woman to come out the house. Look at IG, Instagram. What about it? So a lot of guys feel like, it's like they have to, be doing something to get a woman out the house. And the majority of the guys, unfortunately, have to do that. Most guys are not going to be able to pull to get a woman to come out the house just because of him. Most guys are not going to be able to pull that off. That's just what it is. That's why you got to have like different tools in the toolbox. You got to have, a good skill set, because you can't just depend on one thing out here today. You just can't. I just don't think that's a good idea. Like me, for example, majority of the time, I can get a woman to come out just because of me. But that doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes I might have to say, "Hey, I'll meet you at this spot," and then after I meet up with her, we'll start talking, and once I get her mind, then the rest is history. But like, if I'm in a hotel room, I can get the majority of women to come up to the hotel room. But I know most guys aren't going to be able to pull that off. That's just reality. That's just what it is, Well, P.S. and by the way, check me out on Instagram. It's Sharp Game. That's my handle over there. I've been putting a lot of pictures up there lately. A lot of pictures up there lately. So that's my definition of support. You're just enhancing what's already there. Either you're gonna boost the person, expand the person, Or are you going to, just take what that person already has and just make it better? Just sow into that person. What he says, but that's the thing. The hotel versus a place of common interest is not the same as it was before. Well, I'm all the selfies and no substance. Well, yeah, that's true, L2 James. That's true. But a lot of times you have to talk. You have to talk and you got to listen. That's why a lot of times you got to listen more than you talk. Because a lot of women say things in between the lines. So sometimes, you just got to pick up on little shit that they say sometimes. That's been my experience. And a lot of shit that I've missed, it went over my head, a lot of shit that women have said. And then when time went past after the fact, I was like, oh shit, that's what she meant by that, but it was too late then because I was talking too much. But sometimes you got to read between the lines. You got to sit back and listen. Sometimes you got to sweet mac women. Because, when it comes to situations like if you're in a hotel versus being home, regardless of the place, she has to be comfortable. If she ain't comfortable with being in a room with you by herself, it don't matter. She has to be comfortable with you. That's that's the most important thing. So that's why if I find out that she's not comfortable with coming, if I'm at a hotel and I realize that she's not comfortable with coming directly to the hotel, then I might meet her downstairs at a restaurant, at the bar downstairs, or I might meet her down the street, whatever. And then from there, once we talk for a while, maybe when she loosens up, then she gets comfortable. And then we go back to the hotel. I mean, it's like a 1-2 step. It's like a sequence. That's all it is. I mean, it's like that if you just getting to know someone in the beginning. Now, of course, after time goes on, of course she'll come to your house directly. Or of course she'll come to the hotel directly. Because she's had time to get to know you. So, that makes sense. But ultimately, a woman has to be comfortable with you. Bottom line. That's just what it is. And that's any woman. I don't care where she's from. Really. Any woman. I don't care what language she speaks. I don't care what country she's from. I don't care how she looked, how she raised. It's all about being comfortable for these women. That's it. Really. They get comfortable with you. You make them laugh. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And one of the problems with friendships in this country is a lot of these relationships aren't built on anything. There's no substance. The relationships is not built upon anything. It's really nothing. No foundation, no nothing. Really. The relationship is mostly shallow, and it's just like, hey, we're gonna have a good time, and once we're done, see you next time. Or maybe not. So that's what the average relationship is like in these big towns, because it's just so many people. And what happens is a lot of people get caught up in that hamster wheel. They're always looking for the next new thing, next new car, next new clothes, next new shoes, next new hairdo, next new man, next new woman, if she swing that way. It's all, or next new apartment, next new house, next new rims, next new shirt, next new, yeah, it's always a next new thing. The whole lifestyle is in. Well, yeah, they're on television. They're on mainstream television. See, that didn't happen. That didn't happen much when I was growing up. They dominate the mainstream television now. That didn't happen when I was growing up. No, they didn't. Now, of course, you saw some of them were on television, but not like today. The hoes is like the majority on television today. They dominate the television. They dominate social media. So that's what has happened today. So a lot of guys, that's why a lot of guys and a lot of women are so confused about what position they're supposed to have, what role they're supposed to have. A lot of women are kind of like, they'll see a lot of these celebs online and on television and try to model what they do. And that shit ain't gonna work for most of them. That just ain't gonna work. You can't duplicate what a lot of these people do. Because a lot of these people, they have the big brands behind them. They got people that put money behind them. So they can pull off some of this crazy shit they be doing. But if you're a person that's just on Twitter or Instagram, man, there's a good chance you're gonna flop hard. You're not gonna be able to pull that shit off. You can go and make sex tapes and put it online, put video clips online. You might get some likes, but you're not gonna be like the Kardashians. It's not gonna happen. People have tried it, and most of them have flopped hard. So you got a lot of these young girls is looking at that like, hey, I can probably pull it off, but it don't work for most, and they ain't not making a fool out of themselves. So that's what it is. Don't play yourself. Like they say, don't treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. But they don't see that. Well, of course they don't see it. They don't see it until they get older. L2 James. That's when they see it. See, there's a lot of women out here who will say, well, I didn't grow up with a daddy. Or they'll say, my daddy, he was around, but he didn't really have much impact on me. Right? That's the excuse that a lot of them make. But here's the deal with that. Now, there's two ways to learn. You can either learn by someone showing you, or learn by other people's mistake, or you can learn through trial and error. Those are only two ways to learn. So if you're a man or a woman and maybe you didn't have both parents, or maybe you had no parents, I don't know, but maybe you had both parents, but maybe they didn't have much of an impact. So maybe you kind of feel like you're kind of not unbalanced when it comes to interacting with males and females or whatever, But here's the deal. Even if you get out here and you start making mistakes, You going through trial and error and all that stuff or whatever. At some point, if you keep running to the same situations and you keep making the same mistakes, at some point, common sense has to kick in. You're gonna be like, well, maybe this ain't the best way to approach this situation. Because I've been through this 5, 6, 7 times, and I've got the same result. So maybe I should try a different approach. I should find a different way, or I should get some help. You know, but see, what happens is you have a lot of women out here that don't like being accountable. They don't like taking responsibility for their own actions. And see, in America, women don't really have to change. They don't really have to do anything. They can just keep doing the same thing because there's no consequences to their actions, really. I mean, there aren't a lot of women going to jail out here. If women look, for a woman to go to jail, she has to really mess up real bad. I mean, she really has to mess up real bad. You know, I mean, the laws are so biased. It's like, I mean, a woman don't really have to change. She don't have to do anything. She can just keep doing the same thing. She can keep running people through the court system, hustling them out of money. And some women do that for years. Nothing happened to them. So there's no consequences, you know. And a lot of these women, they make excuses for what they don't know. But at some point, if you keep running to the same hurdles, having to make the same decisions with the same decisions you did eight times ago back then, if you keep getting the same result, something has to pop off and be like, yo, I got to make some changes. You know, I don't necessarily know what's the best route to take, but I know it ain't that route. See, that's when the common sense has to kick in at some point in time. But I know, they say common sense ain't common. And see, most people, they automatically seek to blame somebody else. They point the finger at everybody. It's never them. Until you take responsibility for all your shit, nothing really is going to change. And see, most people don't do that. Most people, they always trying to blame somebody for every goddamn thing going on. Now, I'm not saying everything that happened in your life is your fault. No, I'm not saying that at all. No, I'm saying you got to take responsibility for all your shit in your life, because then and only then you will do something about it. And then that's going to shift your mindset, and then you're going to move very differently in life. And then you're going to be like, you know what? If it's meant to be, it's up to me. So nobody's going to care as much as me. So I got to do what I got to do to make my life better. And that's when shit is going to change. Because see, most people are not taking responsibility for anything. Not even their own life. They're not taking responsibility for their kids. Elton Jane, yet how can you know all that? There's no guarantee that it would work and still do it online. No, that's where it can't be. Well, L2 James, nothing guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed, period. The only thing that's guaranteed is that you're going to die one day. That's it. But just because nothing is guaranteed, that don't mean that you shouldn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, that's just what it is. I mean, a lot of these women, I mean, they're like ignorant on phonics, basically. I mean, some people are so ignorant until it's like them being ignorant actually give them courage and the gumption and the spine to do it. So sometimes, that can work against you, being ignorant, and that can work in your favor too. Because I'm sure it's been something that you've done, you attempted to do, and you didn't know the consequences of that, what could have happened behind it until after the fact. But if you knew the consequences beforehand, you probably wouldn't have done it. So everyone has that experience at some point. But it ain't nothing guaranteed. No, nothing. You can do, man, let me tell you something. You can do everything right, step by step by step. And you still might not get the same result that the next man got. That's just what it is. Everybody's different. Every environment is different. Everything's different. Environment. Let me tell you, how males and females interact between each other today hasn't really changed much. Not really. Not really. This socially, how males and females interact, that hasn't changed. You see a woman today, you look at her, oh, she's cute, whatever. I wonder what she's like, or whatever. I wonder what she's like in the sack. And you want to have sex with her, but once you get to know her, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I wanted to have sex with her, but you know what? I think she's pretty cool. I think I'll spend a little bit more time with her. It's the same thing. That shit been happening 100 years ago. One of my grandparents, man, it's the same shit that's going on today. It hasn't changed. People just dress different. But, the environment has changed drastically. The water is not good. The food is not good. But everything, but as far as how males and females interact with each other, it's the same shit. But I make no excuses. Females do. Of course. You know why women make excuses? Because they can. Older women keep it. Look, majority cosmic warrior. Look, majority of these older women, they're not getting no good man. Forget about it. Now these older women aren't getting no good man. They know it, and I know it. Adapt for my teacher like this. So these guys get put on the back burner, but things will never turn. Now, Cosmic Warrior, the only way things will change is if the environment change, if the food change, if the water change, if the drugs change. If the drugs go away, it ain't going nowhere. So you have to understand the environment influences how people act, behave, along with the laws and public policy. So women don't have to change. That's why they keep doing what they're doing, because it's like, what's the consequences? It's none. They exploit women 24/7. The only reason women don't see it that way is because they're being paid. Yeah, the only choice is adapt. That's it. Women get exploited 24/7. And they don't see it that way because they're being paid. That's the only reason. Yeah, it's like, if you talk to the average woman, you say, hey, if you ask her, hey, you think women are being exploited in this country? Most of them will say no. If you walk up to a model and ask her the same question, do you think you're being exploited working for whatever company, whatever agency she worked for? She'll be like, no, I'm being paid. So now you're basically you're prostituting yourself now. So as long as you're getting a check or some cash out of the deal, it's all good. So women work jobs, same thing. They'll go to these jobs, they get mistreated, sexually harassed, get hit on every week. They'll put up with it. They'll tolerate it. You know why? Because they're getting a check in 2 weeks. They get a check every 2 weeks. And most women, they don't say shit because they want to keep their job. And most women, they'll do anything to keep their job. Sleep with the boss, sleep with a coworker, whatever. And they don't say they're being exploited. They'll say, hey, that's a part of my job. Kind of the reason why I have player homeboys who constantly pump and dump and have full support of them. They exploit all the politically correct bullshit that comes out their mouth. Yeah. I mean, I know some guys are pretty much just like me. You know, it's like they know the game and they just live their life and adapt and try to, you know, don't get caught up in a bunch of bullshit. Every once in a while, they'll get caught up in something and they'll get an attorney and get out of it. That's it. You know, that just comes with the territory. And you know, depending on what you're into and how you make a living out here, some things just come with the territory. But it's never gonna change. Not in our lifetime. If you look at it where it's going now, I mean, it's like the roles are shifting. Women are taking the guy's role, and guys are taking the woman's role in society now. So when that happens, it's chaos. Look at what's happening now. It's chaos out here. You want the man to go in the kitchen and cook for you and the kids. If you tell a woman to go in the kitchen now, it's kind of like she can't cook. In most cases, she's gonna be looking at you like, what? You better go on and Google your recipe. Life is the opposite of everything that my grandparents and mother taught me. People are reckless. Yeah, if you think about how life for your grandparents and your great grandparents and your parents was, it's totally different. Yeah, it's totally different. Everything was different. Food was different. You know, back then they live off the land. And 9 times out of 10, they had a garden in the back or a field in the back. Yeah, I had a girl that was like that too. I got rid of her ass. She's not around anymore. Yeah, but you think about how grandparents and great grandparents and parents grew up. They live off the land. And there was a reason why they got together. They didn't get together just because they liked each other or claim they love each other. There was a method to the madness. Yeah, you know, I feel you, Elton James. A lot of these women, they haven't been raised to be like that. too. That's another thing. They haven't been raised to be like, they haven't been raised to be supportive. I think some of these women out here today, you have to kind of show them how to be supportive. Because I think a lot of people just don't know how to do it. Just like a lot of people don't know how to make friends. They just don't know how to do it. I think some people are like that. They don't understand the concept, of being a friend or being supportive. A lot of people think? A lot of people think being supportive is just giving money. A lot of people think that. They think if they give money, oh, I supported the person. No. And sometimes you can't. Money only go but so far. Sometimes you just have to be there, be in the person's presence. Sometimes you got to make a phone call or write a letter, send a text, send an email, introduce the person to somebody, or send the person something. Sometimes money does help, but money only go but so far. A lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, John T. Yeah, a lot of people just want to be mediocre, subpar, average. They don't really want to strive to be very much of anything that they already are. They just want to be like everybody else. And I think that's a sad way to live the rest of your life. You've been living for what? I don't know. 60, 70, 80 years. If that. And all you've done is just work a job. No friends. And then some people will be like, well, I got my family, and they proud of that too. I got my brothers and sisters. I don't need anyone else. I'm like, and they're proud of that. They wear it like a badge of honor. I just think that's a sad way to be, man. I really do. But all right, guys, it's been real. Again, check out my book, Love Can't Wait. The 21 Unconventional Laws to Redefine and Transform Any Relationship to Win. And check out my website, chooseyourrelationships.com. And check me out on Instagram, Sharp Game. And check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Sharp Game. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.